What's up, family? It's your brother Jared. Welcome to the Mitchell Experience. Not too long ago, I did a review of these guys, the Mavin Air X's, and in that video, I had a lot of positive things to say about them. I gave you a couple of negatives, but I had a lot of positive things to say about them. And at the end of that review, I gave you guys a glowing recommendation. Well, it's been a few days, and I've had an opportunity to use these a little bit more, and I wanted to give you an update. Having had a little bit more time to settle in with these, are these things, still worth the money? Are they still a great buy? Let's take a look. Let's go. So now that it's been a few days and I've had an opportunity to really go through these, at the time when I did my review, I was still coming off the high of how amazing these things sounded, and I still think these things sound amazing. I love the way they look. I love the case. I love the design. I love the sound. I love the volume. I love the fact that these things can work independently, the right channel or the left channel, without having to have a master slave like so many of the other ones do. But there are a couple things that I found myself just not being able to get over with these. And one of them was actually a really big surprise for me. The other, not so much. So we'll start with the one that's not so much. These things claim to have 100 feet of range, and under no circumstances have I been able to find any scenario where I was able to get anywhere remotely close to that. Now, that being said, I've done my tests typically indoors, and indoors, naturally, there are walls, there are obstructions, there are things that get in the way of the range. And what it appears is that any sort of obstruction in these guys will cause the signal to drop out actually rather quickly. And that pisses me off, because you would think that having a chip made by Qualcomm and a phone with a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor, which is advertised to work with these, that wouldn't be the issue, but it is. I have a friend of mine who actually took these, he bought some of these himself, and he took these out on the field, and he was able to get over 100 feet of range in clear open space. I don't know anybody who uses their device that way. So that pissed me off. The other thing that I found that was really, really interesting is that initially when I had these, I thought these were really comfortable. And I've never had a set of true wireless earbuds that gets less comfortable over time, except for these. I didn't know in my review that these things constantly felt like they were going to fall out of my ear, and they never did. But as a part of that process, constantly having to readjust and, push them back in and so on and so forth, I found that just after listening to these for a couple of more days, my ear just began to hurt. Even after I took them off, it was like they just were getting to be sore. And that was really strange to me. And I tried all of the different ear tips that came with it, even going down to the smaller one. I thought maybe it was the fact that, the big one that gave me the best feel initially, maybe the way my ears were designed, it was pushing them out. So maybe if I went back with the smaller one, but even those never really sealed properly. So because it didn't seal properly, it didn't really hold properly. All that to say, long story short, is that the more I listen to these, through the combination of, having to twist them to put them back in and reseat them, to the actual driver itself being bigger than any other driver that I've seen, my tread labs being a close second, these things just got to be really uncomfortable, and I couldn't use them for long periods of time. So where I'm at is, for the price that I paid for these at $140, and them not being that much better than my Tread Lab X5s, because these are not double the price as good as these. And because these things, have begun to hurt my ears over time, and because they don't live up, in my experience, to the 100-foot range, these are going back. So if you bought a set of these on my recommendation, I hope you're not disappointed with it. But I did feel the need to give you an upgrade or an update as I got it, to let you know that I'm not gonna stick with these. I wanted to be a supporter. I'm not going to bash these things, because I still think these are the best sounding true wireless earbuds that I've had the pleasure of using. But this is one of those circumstances where the sound doesn't trump the other things for the price that I paid for it. So once again, these are going back. So I hope that helps. I hope, that you are able to be better informed in your buying decision. And, I'll keep you updated. So peace and love. I'll see you on the flip. Peace.